That's
Hello,
it.
can you hear me?
That's it.
Okay, we got it.
Yes. Finally. I really prayed so much. Okay, that's it. So now we have people joining us, and I'm so excited. And thank you so much. And thank you for your patience. I know it's not easy.
No, but look, what has to be done has to be done.
Yes. As long we don't give up, that's what all matters.
I don't give up at ever. That's not in my lexicon.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So, first of all, I would like to say thank you and hello, everyone. And we have the mother of probiotics on our show. This is my dear, I call you mom, Natasha Trenev.
I'm honored to be your mom and everybody's mom.
Yes, you are, because you saving lives, and every day it's such a unique honor to even speak with you.
And that's why I still say, look, I'm proud to say I'm 77 years old and still in very good health. I haven't had anything done surgically to my face. So if everybody's saying, "Oh my God," it's me, real me. And probiotics has been my life's work, and unfortunately, the whole science has been convoluted, of course, just to make money. And we've got too many seriously affected people. And since the industry asked me not only once but twice to set a standard, which nobody unfortunately abides by,
Right.
and it's too important of a time. We have too many sick children, we have too many sick adults, and bacteria are very funny. They're much smarter than we are. And unless we know who the formulator is, who the manufacturer is, it can be a big problem.
Exactly. And that's what I would like to speak today. And the first item I really would like to discuss, because I hear this a lot from a lot of my clients. And we're going to speak about Lifestart Pro. I want you to really dive deep with me into it and explain people. And I even prepare a small questionnaire. And
Here it is, Lifestart Pro. I
yes,
want you to know that I was the first one in the United States that not only introduced the term probiotics, I was the first one to introduce bifidobacteria. No one knew what the heck I was talking about. And the bifidobacteria infantis was a study I did with a very prominent researcher out of the former Yugoslavia and a German scientist. And I found out that this is the most important bacteria for infant health. As a matter of fact, even in the early 1980s, the European Journal was reporting that even healthy mothers who were breastfeeding were not able to transfer this bacteria to their infant. And the United States have been trying to get current data, but 20-year-old data tells me that only 7% of mothers in North America, even if they delivered the child vaginally and breastfeed, do not transfer this bacteria, except the 7% that were cited in the study. That's huge because this bacteria is extremely difficult to grow and stabilize. And that's why a lot of people misrepresent that they have this bacteria, that it's in a form that it likes to grow in. It doesn't grow because you have a marketing plan. Bacteria are not stupid. They don't waste their energy to impress us. They grow because you stimulate them to grow. And you have to be extremely ethical to make sure that there's no contaminants in here and that, I'm basically reduced to growing it in all kinds of things because the children are so allergic. And, I had to choose organic rice to grow the infanticide because the child is so allergic to everything.
right,
And what I would tell mothers is that pregnant women need to improve their own bacterial combination in their 27 feet of digestive tract. In the third trimester, they should be taking the infantis along with their regular regimen because the bacteria will find its way in the birth canal. It's really a miracle. If you're a good host, the bacteria will find its way in the birth canal and will be there to inoculate the child as it comes through the birth canal. Now, if you're not lucky enough that because unfortunately, a lot of people in the West have not become good hosts for this bacteria. So I took the extraordinary step of making the LifeStart Pro so that mothers can give it to their child upon birth, very small amounts. You can even make a little paste and put it on your nipple if you're breastfeeding. But we put it in small amounts because that's typical of the natural process. So every time you're breastfeeding, you put a little bit of this on your nipple, or you can express your breast milk, mix it together, and then feed it to the child. But it's so important for the child, and I'll tell you why. This is the one bacteria in all the probiotic world that has a unique ability to upregulate and downregulate the immune system. Now, what does that mean? It means it needs to teach the immune system not to overreact when natural food particles are coming across the intestinal wall, unless it's taught this very early in life, because a healthy infant has about 99% of bifidobacteria colonizing their large intestine. And if we don't have those numbers, it's not communicating with the immune system and teaching the immune system what when it needs to defend the human host and when it needs to allow nutrients to pass the intestinal wall. If you think of the immune system as a scanner and the particles going through the intestinal wall as QR codes, in other words, the scanner, the immune system has to be taught which QR codes are okay to let in and which are not. Because the number one job of the immune system is to defend the human host from the bacteria that come in with every food that you give to your child, including breast milk. Even breast milk is not sterile. Most people don't understand that. There's nothing sterile in this world unless we make it sterile. It all comes with its own host of bacteria. So that's why it's important that the mother's healthy, that the breast milk is healthy, and that the child is healthy. It has to be a full circle involvement in order to have that healthy child. And when the child is healthy, it will gain weight normally. It will thrive. It will develop everything it needs to develop, and we hopefully will put an end to this, grotesque childhood illness that's affecting almost every society in the world right now.
Correct. Natasha, I have a couple questions. And the question I want to focus on child health, yes, but as soon the mom gets pregnant, we see something that we didn't see this for a long time. UTI begins. It's
Oh
said
yeah.
because of the hormonal imbalance, and there's many things that come with the concept. But so I wanted to ask you, what will be as a mom as soon she gets pregnant, what she should do? Like what she should go straight on probiotics because in most
Absolutely.
as soon they
Absolutely.
go, as soon they go to the doctor will right away will prescribe them antibiotics. And now we're already creating a huge chaos in the gut flora. Now we already put in consideration the mom is not going to the bathroom correctly because of the hormonal imbalance, then probably previous issues, right? So it's all gathering. And as soon the hormones come kick in and she becomes pregnant, UTI is something that I see all the time. And I would like you to address that. And then we're going to go talking about pregnancy and the last month before delivering a baby. We have a woman who go through the swab test, and then the doctors, sometimes even day or 2 days before delivering a baby, the doctor will prescribe antibiotics, and then we have a child born with all this chaos in their gut
Yeah.
and the mom. So let's start with the mom that just got
Yeah.
pregnant with UTI.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, both partners, the father and the mother, will start taking the professional label is Trenev Trio while they're contemplating creating a child,
Okay.
because the healthy father contributes to the health of the mother's health, And so that would be the ideal. I would say be on it for at least a month before you contemplate, creating a child. Once the mother is pregnant, both parents, this is something it's taken me years to learn, both parents should be on the Trenev trio because of their intimacy that pass the bacteria back and forth. And if the mother should get a UTI, I have a special product for that. Where you take in addition to the Trenev trio, you take something we call the Natron probiotic for the ultimate vaginal care. Here it is.
Okay.
You have it. And this acidophilus strain,
Here it's called Superdaphilus. This is what I usually give.
yeah, superdophilus is the professional name, yes.
Okay.
And what I tell people, take that in addition to the Trenev trio and also make a paste and get a finger cut or a glove and insert it digitally inside your vaginal tract at night. Do not have any intercourse, let it sit, and that needs to go on for at least 7 days because let me explain to you why the UTIs are not handled by antibiotics anymore. The bacteria have become so smart, they know how to evade the immune system. And interestingly enough, E. coli produce something that we call persister cells. What does that mean? It means that in the urethra, they actually build little mounds of glucose and they sit on top of that because the immune cells are going up and down patrolling. And if they see glucose, they say no danger because it's bacteria is protein. So the minute they see a sugar mound, they say, oh, there's no danger here. There's no infection. So they just pass by. And that's how the bacteria can reinfect. And every time you give a dose of antibiotics, it becomes more resistant because its primal objective is to thrive. So
Exactly.
it will do anything to preserve itself and to make sure that if it likes a territory, that it maintains dominance in that territory. And it's very dangerous because unfortunately, I just talked to a dear friend who lost a child on Saturday because the mother had persistent UTIs during pregnancy. And unfortunately, they called me too late. And I'm just saying that, we as mothers have to take the initiative. We are responsible for the health of the child and making sure that we ensure that. Now, I tell people I didn't cause the problem. I've been watching this for 60 years. And for 60 years, things have been getting progressively worse. Now, remember, I'm not against the use of antibiotics, but every time you use an antibiotic therapy, it takes 6 months for the GI tract to balance itself or the vaginal tract to balance itself.
Exactly.
So people don't consider this. It's a
Well,
huge shift.
it's everything in a quick. They think it works, everything in the body works quickly, when in reality, even to hydrate the body, if people say, but I drink a lot of water, they don't understand. It takes about 9 months to hydrate fully the body. So when
Yes.
people think, now I'm on a clean diet, I'm drinking, they don't understand. It's like it take everything is a process, and if someone has severe UTIs, we should dive deep and see why and what's causing the problem.
Yeah.
But as the everyone who is listening, you need to understand, if you want to get pregnant before, you and your husband should start taking Natasha Trenev's probiotics. Now they should take 1, 2 capsules twice a day, once a day, or how they
I
should
would
go.
recommend because the state of the health of both the father and the mother is so bad. I would say each parent should take one capsule twice a day, and we can, then adjust it to individual need. And I didn't cause the problem, nor do I have a marketing plan here. I'm seeing the health decline, and don't forget, there's actually bacteria in the sperm, and the sperm cannot be, healthy if it doesn't have the right bacterial balance as well. That's another topic for fertility.
Right.
What they don't understand is we are a hybrid of bacteria and human cells. And those bacteria need to be in harmony with our cells in order for the body to be healthy.
They
And
in the
yeah,
morning, in the evening, or you
yes,
suggest everyone the way they like? I know it's very important. Many people don't know not to take this with acidic drinks, like with the lemon,
yes,
orange juice. Um,
yes. And I'm also telling mothers to go slow on eating raw foods because, when you're pregnant, you are in an immunosuppressed state. Most women don't know that. Otherwise, the immune system would cause the abortion, would throw out the baby
exactly.
because it feels it's a threat. So there has to be a harmony between the growing baby and the mother. So I tell people slow down on the raw foods because most people don't know how to wash salads or fruits. They need to learn. And on my website, I do have a, vinegar wash. I tell people to soak at least for 3 to 5 minutes, rinse very well. And if you're eating raw foods, make sure you chew at least 10 times. Most people have not been taught any kind of hygiene by their family, which is a tragedy.
Correct.
They don't know anything about how to keep their counters clean, how not to contaminate their sink. People leave mounds of dishes in the sink, not knowing that's creating a huge problem for a body to handle. Food should not be left in the sink. Dishes should not be left in the sink. They should be rinsed, put in the dishwasher, and the sink should be rubbed down because we are in a very perilous state of human health. We have a declining population. We have huge infertility problems, and we're not delivering healthy babies. And my biggest concern is the numbers for autism are not going down. We all talk about that. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, yet we're still progressing to that 1 in 2 children in 5 years. 5 years will be on the spectrum of autism. And I think we have a human crisis, human being crisis.
But
Uh,
that's here. We
Pardon me?
creating a new generation. We're building a new generation. We're teaching moms who are open to listen to you, and everything that
Yeah.
we and we speak is all about building a new society, smarter, and young moms who are more aware, more than previous. So I'm very blessed, and I'm so happy that you also here with us and teaching us and giving
Mm.
your wisdom. I would ask, so so twice a day. Then as soon the mom becomes pregnant, she should start with a superdaphilus, and the superdaphilus comes either in a powder or either in a capsules.
Yeah,
And
that's in addition to what she's taking. That's not in lieu of. That's in addition. I want to make sure that whatever is happening vaginally to her, that she can take it orally. But also people need to be taught how to wipe. You wipe from forward, backwards. I mean, I'm just shocked that a lot of young women don't know even how to wipe properly and cross contaminate. You have to, take a shower every day, clean yourself. Make sure you're clean because your skin, your body's loaded with trillions of bacteria. People are not aware of that.
exactly,
Every particle on your skin is covered with bacteria.
exactly.
So we need to be teaching it.
I know, it's one of the classes that I do. I teach people how to clean themselves correctly, how make sure that we scrub our body correctly, and not just like, using a sponge is simple, but really cleaning. When it comes to hair, all these are very important because we've not been taught this. So we have all abilities. We have a hot water, but we don't know how to use it.
Yep. Nope. You're right.
and then and okay, so that about that. Now what to do when it comes closer to the end of before the baby is arriving to the world? What you suggest? They should continue taking, the father and the mother taking probiotics,
Yes.
or the mom only, or
No, 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 no.
a
Even after the baby is born, because again, because of the intimacy, and people don't understand, even the family members in your home can transfer bacteria. We've created a really huge problem with the level of chemicals and pesticides and the abuse of antibiotics. we have created an environment that's completely hostile to us on all levels. I mean, I have air filters running in my house 24/7, even though I don't live in the city. I have three filtration of my water, not because I'm a nut job, but because, I know what's in the water.
Yes.
So people need to really take care and especially make sure whatever is in their home, they've checked. Organic, most people don't understand, are filled with soil organisms. That's why it's organic. And that has to be washed just as well. Pesticides are potent antibiotics, which most people don't know.
Yes.
And so what they've done is that the soil bacteria have become much more aggressive, and they're more difficult to kill. And some people are foolish enough to take these as supplements, and they don't understand what they're doing because these organisms are designed to look for weakness in the body so that they can start dominating. Once they start dominating, they will produce poisons to make sure that they get rid of competition. And that's the big problem.
That's so true. The problem also, from what I see, is people are not aware, and they're not searching for high supplements, but they're always looking for something that has a good name, or advertisement, and they're jumping on it without really understanding what kind of strains they need. There is
Yeah.
a new thing now that why I so much love you and your products, because I've seen an amazing results, and I hear so many people who take probiotics that supposed to be good, but unfortunately they're not doing anything. And I've seen
Yeah.
with my own eyes when I switch them from the probiotics they've been on, and then I put them on yours, I see results immediately in a day or two. You see how incredible it works, and that's why I said people have to be aware. You always have to look who is behind, who
That's right.
prepared those probiotics. Is it someone who just wants to put their name on it, or someone who backed with research and understands? Because otherwise we can cause a lot of imbalance, right? And I also have seen that the different probiotics that people say that all kinds of strains, and as many strains the better it is. Can you just say a few words about that,
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah, unfortunately, the common existence of bacteria is competitive exclusion. So that whole thing of these multi-strains is a huge lie. There's no nice word to say. The reason they do that is because, Protren Natren is the only company in North America and the EU that is vertically is because it's a cheap way to make the product. You can make thousands of labels. Just change the name of the organism. There's no agency that's checking to see what's even in there. And since these bacteria are very competitive, and a lot of time they're not kept cool, so they're growing rapidly inside this closed environment, which is the capsule, and they're producing substances to knock each other out. So by the time they reach the consumer, they're already damaged, and possibly most of them are dead. Now, when you take those organisms and try to swallow them, and they have to go through stomach acid in order to make it to your small intestine, they're gone. They're completely finished. So this is the problem. My standard that was read into congressional record when the industry needed me. They said, Natasha, this was in 1994. They came to me and said, we will not get an amendment passed called the Deshay Amendment unless you revise because the industry has no standards. There absolutely no standard that anybody follows for any dietary supplement. And I foolishly did it a second time because they lied to me the first time. So the standard clearly states any organism you put in a probiotic product you must separately guarantee that it's alive through an expiry date clearly printed on the label. No one, but no one that throws all these products in one capsule, they give you a total count. That's like telling you, oh, you've got all these people who are going to be Kobe Bryant, but you don't know which one it is. I mean, a famous basketball player. I made that analogy.
Yes,
So what I'm saying, it's done on purpose to confuse the consumer, so they think that buying all these bacteria is going to do anything. No, they're only there for their own interest, and if it doesn't work for the bacteria, they're going to go dormant. They're going to die, and you're going to get no results. And that's why I'm still staying, because the field that I started, probiotics, has been completely convoluted. There are no standards. Nobody's following any standards. And it's really 90% of the money is spent on marketing, not on product formulation. They don't
exactly.
really care about it. So I'm just saying to you that most of the people like me in this industry are gone. They've been they've been killed by excessive commercialism and big companies that are swallowing up smaller companies and producing, in my personal view, junk that people
But
are buying.
I
And
agree. I agree. And that's why what we're doing here is that empowering people to understand, always look for the source. I'm, I always, to everyone, to all my followers, I always say, who is behind? Don't give me a fancy name. Don't bring me a nice label, because it's so easy can be made. And I'm in this business, and I know that it's so easy, and brainwash people. It's also so easy because we've not never been educated. So we jump, and that's why for me it's so important that you're here and you giving your your you teaching us, you giving us your wisdom, so people will be more aware and understand that there is a meaning why are we suggesting this specific probiotics. It's not because we want to make money. That's not the whole idea. It's idea to give you something that will heal you. And I've
yes,
seen it for so many years working with clients. You have a people taking probiotics, oh, 5 million, 100 million, thousand millions, or whatever millions, it doesn't matter. And then sometimes they look up on the live start pro and they tell me, oh, there is only few strains. What do you mean? That's exactly what you need, because otherwise you're going to cause more damage, right?
um,
So that's why I'm
yeah,
so
we have to teach people. I mean, the thing is, uh, with bacteria, you have to be very careful. So what they do now is they're using potentially dangerous bacteria to treat a symptom and not really try to establish an optimal balance of the 100 trillion bacteria that line your small and large intestine. You've got bacteria everywhere, including your brain, your organs, your bloodstream, and it's not anything that anybody should be playing around with. It is very serious stuff, and people have no idea what they're doing to themselves. We already have chronically ill people in this country. We don't need to add to the chronic illness. And, I say to people, if we're going to make America healthy again, we have to get some kind of standards and enforcement in the dietary supplement industry, or nobody's going to get better. People don't understand supplements, they don't understand food. I'll give you one a prime example. I'm a great outspoken person against the use of kombucha. I said kombucha is a natural medicine used in Asian countries by families who have been doing this for, centuries, and who know what they're doing. It is not a drink for daily consumption.
yes.
And it's the same foolishness we did with soy milk. I was the lone person who said, wait a minute, let's look at how the Japanese use soy milk. Why are we crazy drinking this by a pint every day? Turns out I was right. And it's the same thing with kombucha. A lot of Ayurvedic doctors have supported me. People who understand, it's really, kombucha is a beer yeast with a bacteria that produces cellulose. We have no idea what this bacteria does once it gets into the side of your GI tract. And that's where the danger comes in, that you cannot fool around with bacteria that we don't know what it does once it gets inside of us. So this is the foolishness. This is where we need the education. The easiest thing for me to do is, people have come to me with open checkbooks, do this. And I said, no. And they would say to me, what's wrong with you? And I said, because I know it's wrong. People with their children and their health depend on my honesty and my truthfulness. If I change and tell them what they want to hear, then I'm not doing the right thing. We need to, really wake people up and say, if you think this country is getting better, they're not. If you think our autism rates are getting better, they're not. If you think the chronic illness in this country is getting better, it's not. If you think fertility is in huge trouble in this country, yes. Male sperm counts is down by 50%. Women are not able to conceive. We are in trouble as a country, and we are listening to the wrong people who are giving us the wrong message and really don't care about us in the way that we want them to get better. So I guess as mothers, both you and I are mothers, and I feel all of these are my children. They're not their children. They're not the country's children. They're our children. We need to change what we're doing. Otherwise, we're heading into a very, very bad space.
Right. So, for now, we covered so far that before you want to get pregnant, you need to go on a Trenev trio.
Right.
It's a combination of a Bulgaricum bifidonate, right? This is a
Yeah.
combination that you put and should take in morning and evening. I
Right.
also suggest sometimes, I'm sorry if I'm stepping up, but I would say listen to your inner voice, because some
Yes.
people might have a kind of side effect, not in the way of side, but the suddenly good guys go in and they start to fight. So I say you can always back down, meaning
Yes.
take two, go take one, and if you feel still a little bit something is too much, then you can take less, but then go back on and play around. That's the beauty of working with the wholesome materials that will not going to cause any harm. We can play around, we can reduce it, we can add it whenever we need it. Then we covered that it's very important to not to take with acidic liquids, because then
Yes.
the bacteria will be naturalized. So now another important thing is that
Don't take it with alcohol.
not taking with alcohol. Also, if they take the probiotics, how long they should wait to take coffee or other stuff they are drinking? How long should be?
Yeah. No, coffee doesn't bother it because remember, the Trenev trio is micro enrobed in oil.
Okay, yes,
Oil does not dissolve in the stomach.
right.
Oil is emulsified by bile, waved down. So none of that will, the oil capsule. Now, superdophilus is different. We don't want to drink an acidic substance like coffee with a powdered probiotic, the single strains.
Hmm.
But with Trenev Trio, which is in the oil matrix, you can take it whenever because the oil does not break up in the stomach.
Okay,
It goes down to the bile duct, and the bile will emulsify it. And by the way, all the strains that we use are bile tolerant. Everything has been reviewed by me, thought about to make sure that I do everything in my power to make sure these bacteria reach the human host alive and they're able to function.
okay. So we covered that. Okay, so if you're taking the Trenif Trio that comes in oil, you don't have to worry. You can take the probiotics in the
Yes.
morning and then have your cup of coffee. And then in the evening, when they drink herbal teas, it can be applied the same way, right? If they
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
acid.
herbal teas, as long as they're not antimicrobial, you
Right.
know.
So I usually say if they take my formulas, which is infection formula, which contains garlic and black walnut and golden seal and herbs like that, those herbs are actually can interfere. But
Yes.
if we
Yes. And we should do that 2 hours afterwards.
okay,
After you take that formula, 2 hours afterwards. That usually gives enough for the peristaltic movement that the bacteria will not come into contact with the antimicrobial compounds of the tea.
okay. Now, same thing when so mom and dad should be whole entire time on the probiotics, and when before the delivery, it's very important that the mother should take, now she should add superdaphilus before, no, she should add Lifestart Pro before delivering the baby.
Yeah, at
So
least
that
3 months in the last trimester,
okay,
because I don't know how good of a host they are. But remember, these bacteria don't do things to impress us. We want to make sure we're a good host. Now, the superdophilus it can be taken with the life start, but only if you suspect that may be susceptible to your urinary tract infection. If you
okay,
don't think you're susceptible to you don't have to take the superdophilus. But
exactly.
the infantis is there for the newborn, and you want to give it a chance to establish a household in the delivery canal so that the baby can be inoculated.
It's absolutely incredible. It's like when I visualize that makes so much sense. So by the end of the pregnancy, she should start taking
The
um,
life start.
Lifestart Pro, and right, and that will help all so many mothers that are suffering. I just, like 2 days ago, I got a text message of someone who on her, like last week before pregnancy, and doctor want to put her on antibiotic. Same thing, another case. There's so many, and you doing this unnecessary. You don't need this. And if you do suspect that you're having some imbalance, then you can mix a little bit superdophilus with a little bit coconut oil. You wear gloves,
Mhm.
mix together and insert inside, and do not have a sexual intercourse because you want the bacteria to settle and build a good environment.
Right,
Okay,
right.
don't jump on antibiotics because that can ruin your child and you as well. And we have so many children that are suffering, and that's exactly what Natasha is talking and teaching us and giving us this knowledge. Now, as soon the baby is born, the baby she should put few deep a little bit of the powder on her nipple, and the baby will
Yeah,
take
make it
it.
into a little paste.
Uh-huh.
Take a little bit of the breast milk, put it on the paste, and the baby will suckle it off.
And
You don't need large amounts. Small amounts, more frequently is better.
what does it mean frequently?
I mean, if you're breastfeeding, what, 3 or 4 times a day,
Uh-huh.
then do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing.
It's you're following nature. You're doing what nature you would have done, or
Amazing.
I believe God
So,
would have done.
and this is very important because many times people come and I give once and they expect results. And I always like to say, because it's a God-given gift, you're never going to harm yourself if you take it more often. And sometimes because we are so in our mind are so, we don't think, we think it's like a medicine. We look at the life of probiotics, or same can come to herbs like it's a medicine. It's,
Yeah.
but you have to be very careful. You have to
No,
precisely take, and doesn't, it's no
no, no, no. You're trying to change an ecosystem.
followers, please, and
Yeah.
to us. This
Mm,
is the beauty. When you use Natasha's product, they're not gonna harm you. And the beauty is that the body will tell you you had enough, or you didn't had enough. And
yeah.
that's the beauty of it. That's what I give. I'm so happy that I have you here. So you can give us this
Yeah.
beautiful opportunity and tell your precious baby you're not going to harm him if you're going to give
No.
right before nursing a little bit more probiotics that will
Yeah,
help.
no, no, no. Because first of all, these good bacteria evolve with us. All the bacteria that I use have been in the literature for at least 100 years. I don't fool around.
Yeah.
I'm very careful what I add. That's why I only deal with 4 strains, different strains, and I don't add more because they also knock each other out.
Oh,
You
Natasha,
know,
one more question. If people, let's say they cannot get your probiotics and they cannot come to my website and buy, and now they're stuck, let's say they're in Europe somewhere, what they should look for, so that way they're not going to cause harm themselves and not harm to the baby. And let's say we're out of the picture, we're not here, but we want to
yeah.
leave a message. What should
Well,
we?
we do have a German distributor. It's called Nature in EU, and there's also a Nature in UK.
Mm-hmm.
and you can't get the products. I was amazed. They sent me a whole list of countries that they're shipping to.
I
Uh,
even shipped from here to there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can ship. It doesn't matter to me who ships, but it is available. You can get it. I'm trying to do my best to make sure that, I haven't raised my prices. And just know that everything comes from the US. I don't get anything from Asia, no raw material, nothing. Everything is checked. Every ingredient is checked. Everything is used only after it's been checked, and nothing in our facility gets used unless it's been thoroughly vetted that it's the right material and that it's going to enhance the function of the product.
Actually, maybe rephrase it. Let me rephrase it. Maybe they should avoid certain bacteria. Maybe we should limit,
Absolutely.
or we should not. If let's say they walk into their supermarket and they see probiotics, and let's say they are now stuck, and if they read in the labels, if they see certain probiotic, if once they see the strain, they should run away from that. What are those strains?
Okay, one of the things that they do see is like Lactobacillus plantarum. That's actually sold on a site and given for colic. And that's a no-no because it is a strong inhibitor of Infantis and four other species of bifidobacteria.
Okay,
So,
let's go back on the same name,
yeah,
Lactobacillus
plantarum.
plantarum.
Yeah,
If they see this on their bottle, they should run away from it. They
no, it should run away. We'll talk. We'll give them a list and we'll do it. But no, there's a number of bacteria. So I think because I got to get off, I got a 4 o'clock, unfortunately.
okay.
But I will, look, I will hold your hand. I will explain everything to you. I will tell you that even on some of these baby sites, they're recommending stuff that they should never be recommending. They're
Exactly.
not bad people. And what it is they've converted supplements into behaving like big pharma drugs.
Exactly.
And they're not meant to be big pharma drugs. And playing around with bacteria is far more dangerous than you can ever imagine. Uh,
Exactly. That's what we gonna live today. Our
yeah.
conversation. And today it was we just learned how to use Instagram Live. So please understand and accept my apology. I
My
will figure
too.
it out, and we both. And thank you so much for your precious time. This hour will never be forgotten. It will be posted on my Instagram, your Instagram, on Natren.
Yeah.
People come learn from the mother. Who you need more? She's right here in front of
Yeah,
us.
and I've spent my life. I've been in this industry 60 years, and I've heard and seen everything.
And
And
that's why I feel we need you. We need you here.
um,
And thank you for your precious time. Thank you so much.
I love you all. Be well, and I'm here. We're going to answer all your questions, and don't feel overwhelmed because all of the questions will be answered, and you'll be much more knowledgeable if you listen.
Today was the first meeting. We're going to continue slowly. Today
All
we
right.
covered a few important topics. Bye, everyone. Thank you so
Bye.
much. God
God
bless.
bless. Bye bye.
Bye bye.